Guys, do you think sex is disgusting? Yes, I just said that word. Sex. S-E-X. Sex. A lot of us think it's disgusting, right? Am I right or am I right? I bet you go up to your friends every time you meet them, and if a topic comes up about the word sex, you immediately confess that you think it's disgusting. Trust me, we all do it. I've done it, I've seen my friends do it, and it's actually a scientific fact that we all do it, and it's pretty natural within our personalities and our brains. However, why do we do this? Is there a scientific reason for us doing it, or is it just our own personal preference on the word sex? Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go deep into this topic and find out and tell you why the word sex is such a big deal. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Focus the Future. I hope you've had an amazing day. If you're new here, welcome to the channel, welcome aboard. On this channel, I provide mental health advice, informational videos, and videos just like this one. So if this looks interesting to you, then please go down there and hit that subscribe button to let me know you are part of the community. But overall, I hope you're enjoying this so far. This video is obviously about sex, so if anything to do with the nature of sex or sexual topics or anything to do with that, please don't watch this video, but go and watch this one. We'll let you know a bit more about me. Apart from that, guys, I hope you enjoy this video. This video is very informational. Any teenagers watching this might very much interest you, but I hope you enjoy it. And let's jump in to why we think sex is disgusting. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is science behind this nonsense of why we think sex is disgusting. Let me take you through it. Now, as humans, we have to have sex. There is no way on this earth we couldn't. If we didn't have sex, you, I, everyone on this earth wouldn't exist. Because, quite frankly, it's part of our natural reproduction system, and it's the way we produce other members of our species. So, to be honest, it's a pretty natural process. And when we used to live in caves, it wouldn't have been even thought about. You know, we would have just done it with any woman we ever saw or any man we ever saw and wouldn't have cared shit less. As times moves on, obviously, it's not the same anymore. It's not like I go up to my local shop and go up to the person on the counter and like, yo, you want to bang? Sounds fun, doesn't it? Like, I don't think anyone does that. If you do, probably should go and get checked out. You can't see the mug, fuck. Mug, come back to me! I mean, it's questionable if this mug does that every day because, I mean, he's literally the biggest fucking twat on the earth. Yes, friends who call me a twat, you're gonna disagree, but I think he's the biggest twat. But as times move on, has our perception on sex got worse or better? Well, in actual fact, it's part of keeping us safe. The true scientific reason I'm about to prove to you by research that I'm going to put on your screens. The reason we think sex is so disgusting, and when we hear the word sex from someone who we don't have any romantic interest in, is because it protects us. Let me explain. So, there was research done by scientists a couple of years ago about why this exact topic, why we think sex is disgusting, and why we state that sex is disgusting when talking about it with just a local group of friends. Well, it's actually to keep us safe, and the reason is because sex is obviously a very dangerous thing. Having sex with the wrong people or having sex with someone could lead to you getting an STD, could lead to you being ill, could lead to transmitted diseases, could lead to you having an unwanted pregnancy, and the list goes on. So, in some cases, it's pretty dangerous. And if not the right precautions have been taken, and if not the right communication has been taken, it could lead to legal trouble, health problems, and all other types of issues. And over the years, from when we were in the caves, over the years, our brains have learnt this, and we have adapted to be able to prevent ourselves from getting into these situations. I mean, it doesn't prevent us very well because there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who still do this, but there are protection systems in our brain that try and prevent this. And the way it does this is if some random guy or woman who you don't have romantic interest in says the word sex or starts talking about sex, because your brain doesn't have any romantic interest in them and you have no chemistry between the two of you, your brain immediately thinks, danger. It's like, red, red, red. I don't want to have sex with you. What are you chatting about? And it doesn't think about the logic behind it. This then triggers an instinct in us to say it's disgusting, to act like we hate the term sex or we don't like sex, which in actual fact is complete and utter bullshit, because quite frankly without sex we wouldn't be here. And what your brain's trying to do is it's trying to warn off this other person. It's like saying to the other person, I don't want to do that. Go away. I don't want to have sex with you. Because it's scared of the consequences of it. It doesn't like that person and it doesn't have any romantic interest in them. Basically, the chemical signals that are sent between us every single minute of every single day are not connecting very well and we don't have any chemical interest in them, which means we don't want to have sex with them. So, in actual fact, that's a very positive thing, because without it, we could go around having sex with absolutely anyone and not give two shits about it. So, that is the science behind it, and as I'm saying these words now, I'm going to put on screen some research that's been done, so it doesn't look like I've just blubbered this at you and done no research into this. I've looked at a lot more sites than just this one, but because this was the site that put it in the most simplest form, I decided to display this site on your screen. So, when you're next with a friend and they start talking about sex and you instantly say, like, it's disgusting or you react very weirdly, don't take that as a negative thing. Think to yourself, that's my body and my brain trying to protect me from the consequences of having unwanted sex. However, that doesn't mean that sex is completely negative. If it's done in a correct form, with the correct protection, with the correct communication, sex is beautiful. We all love it, okay? It feels good, it is good, and without it we wouldn't be here. So I'm not saying in this video, don't go and have sex. I'm just telling you that your brain does try and protect you from unwanted sex. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a virgin, and I'm happy to admit that on camera. I'm 16 years old and a virgin, okay? I've never had sex in my life, and I'm actually quite scared of the idea of putting my penis in someone else's vagina, which is a great thing to admit as a man. But I have to be honest with my audience. I talk about very personal topics, so I have to be very honest with you, and I'm prepared to do that. So I am a virgin, and generally I do have very weird feelings about the fact that at some point I am going to have to do that. Now, I've got an entire video based around feelings of sex and how I feel about it and things you can do to make sure you're safe when having sex and the tips that online gives you and things about the porn industry and all this other stuff. I've got these videos planned in, so I'm not going to get into that. This video is purely to warn you that when you say sex is disgusting, you don't actually mean it. It's just your brain telling you to say that because it wants to protect you from unwanted sex. So, what are the positives to this? What is the big positive thing, the big green box that this fills? Well, without this general instinct, we would probably go around and have sex with a lot more people in our general life. There are a lot of people out there who I'd say are quite fit, and, you know, I'd love to have sex with if I ever got the chance to. Obviously, if they're in the legal age category. But that's not how our brains work. And we're very lucky that's not how our brains work. Because quite frankly, if we didn't have that instinct, it's not like school teaches us to not go around and have sex with everyone. I mean, it teaches us how to use protection equipment and how to make sure that we are asking permission to stick my penis inside another woman. But apart from that, we don't really get taught much. So if I didn't have that instinct, we could go around fucking whoever we want, really. That's the positive. It stops you having sex with people who you don't have any chemistry with. I mean, people still do it, trust me. If you've had a bit too much to drink, the chances are that instinct gets thrown away and you will end up having sex with someone who your brain didn't necessarily want to have sex with. The negatives are the fact that sometimes we get scared of it to the this instinct becomes a bit too strong to the point where we become very scared of sex, and that thought of it's disgusting starts to havoc with our brain, and it becomes a natural instinct instead of an instinct that's just used to protect us. It becomes something we think on a daily basis. Now, why do we think it's disgusting? Well, obviously, it's obviously that instinct, but also sometimes if you're a bit immature, you think that doing stuff with your body parts and looking after your body is a bit wrong. It sounds a bit disgusting when you talk about it. But in reality, as long as it's clean, as long as that person has showered and groomed themselves correctly, there's nothing really wrong with it. I mean, it's just a body, to be honest. It's just another human. You have parts of your body that look the exact same or slightly different, but pretty much perform similar purposes. You all produce the same liquids, and at the end of the day, there's nothing different about you as long as you are hygienic. So overall, sex is not a bad thing, and that instinct is not a bad thing. So when you think it's disgusting, just think to yourself, that's just my brain protecting me. But don't let that thought overdrive you into actually thinking sex is disgusting. Because at the end of the day, as long as that person has showered recently and is groomed correctly, yes, men, you know what you need to do, and women actually. I don't know why I just think men does that. But yeah, you know what you need to do. As long as they're doing that, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Now, obviously, this video is very intense, and when I saw this on my schedule to film today, I was like, oh my god, I've got to create a plan. I've had to go and type these things into YouTube, because obviously it's not just me making a video. I have to make sure that it fits into YouTube's terms and service, and analytically this video is actually going to get promoted, and all this other stuff that YouTubers have to do. And trust me, it felt very wrong. And I sat there and thought to myself for a couple of seconds, oh my god, this is actually a lot harder than I thought. But now I'm sitting here talking about it, it's actually quite casual, and it actually feels good to sit here and openly talk about sex without being judged. So, teenagers out there, people out there, don't be scared to have sex. Pretty normal. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you're giving me one of these. Like things down there. I don't think I've ever said that in my life. Also, if you've enjoyed this video and not part of the community already, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button to join it for regular mental health, informational, and videos just like this one. Apart from that, guys, I will catch all you dudes next time. Disclaimer, don't go around having sex with everyone. Please use protection.